been given full access to the Players Lounge on the Sports Joc Show with Wayne
Something
Gandy.
about you. Way I'm looking at you. Whatever. Keep looking at me. Getting scared now. Right? Don't feel me, baby. It's just Justin. Feel good, right? Listen.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. I know we've been touching on the Super Bowl, as I said. Super Bowl 49 is in the books. Patriots 28, Seattle 24. Heroes are made, heroes have fallen. Super Bowl 50 now is upon us. They're even debating how to even put it up there. Should they put just the X, or should they put just 50? So you'll hear a lot about that in the coming year because they don't know how to actually put it up there. But a subject that has been in the news on different levels, from pro ball with different players to college ball, different players all the way down to high school. Out of Vanderbilt, a jury convicted ex-Vandy player Brandon Vandenberg and Corey Beatty of raping a former student back in June of 2013. The two set their defense on what they call the culture of college, saying that basically on the campus of Vandy is a culture of promiscuous sex and binge drinking. This case, if you don't know, they found the young lady which used to date Brandon in the hallway. She had been so drunk she had passed out in the hallway. They had footage of them taking her into the elevator. It had 4 former players involved. 2 actually did something to her physically, to watch, took pictures. Corey Beatty, because both of these kids just turned 21, so they were 19 at the time. Corey Beatty even got on the stand and said that he was so inebriated he didn't remember whatever went down until the friend that had taken the picture or the video had showed him he doesn't even remember the incident. Jameis Winston, the young lady that alleges that he raped her back in 2003 as well. She is in a film that's coming out called The Hunting Ground. It's already shown at Sundance. It'll be coming to theaters near you this spring, and it's about college and the sexual assaults that occur on campuses that go overlooked. One of our interns here on the show, who attends Georgia State, she has been kind enough to take a moment to talk to us about her incident along these lines. Her name is Kaya, and we are just asking Kaya to tell us what she's comfortable with telling us. As you can see, it's 2 men and a young lady. I'm quite sure the things that Kaya says, Selfie will understand better than me and Big Kenny. Before we say anything about this, the views are not in support of rape. We're just trying to figure out what I have told my panel we calling the new rape. And the new rape meaning that there was this time where rape was that I break in your window and I actually do something to you to get around to sleeping with you in a more physical manner. And a lot of these cases that we're hearing now has something to do more with whether I'm drugging the person, or even if I'm not drugging it, both of us are sitting here drunk and things go a little too far. A lot of women are having a problem proving their case based on some of that, because the guys are saying that for all intensive purposes that it was consensual. That's what Jameis Winston's claim was, that it was consensual and the girl was just using it to get back at him. Because none of these guys are like running from the law. They're actually going to the courthouse and saying, hey, yes, we had sex. and now it gets down to the nuts and bolts. So, Kaya, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you for stepping in and helping us out with the show. I'll just let you tell us some of the circumstances around what happened to you.
Okay. Well, I was talking to this guy, and he was older than me. He's probably like 28 maybe, or like 27. I was still a freshman. I was a freshman. Now I'm a junior. And, freshman year for me was really, I wasn't wild or anything like that because I danced. So I was busy. So I had stuff to do. But I was still like talking to other guys or whatever. And so I was talking to him and he seemed nice. And I felt like I set myself up for that position, like to be put in that kind of position. And my mom always would tell me, don't do this, don't do that. Make sure your drink is always covered if you go out somewhere. And if, you're going over some guy's house, don't go by yourself. And I'm just hard-headed, and I didn't listen to her. And I reaped the consequences of not listening to your parents and following what they say. So I went over there by myself. And this is my second time going over his house. And the second time, it wasn't like the first time. And I never like had sex with him or anything like that. But I shouldn't have went over there. I shouldn't have, I didn't even like him like that.
Right.
So I know like a lot of girls, we'll see a guy who, drives a nice car and, have money and is giving you stuff and, like taking care of you, and like you're not really into them like that, but you like what they can do for you. And so I fell for that. And I didn't like him, so I shouldn't have been over there. I shouldn't have like let him on or anything like that. And so I really take full responsibility for that because it could have been prevented because I didn't like him. I didn't want to have sex with him at all. So it's just like, why even go there?
Did you press charges against the gentleman?
No.
Did you ever confront him with
Well, that night, he's your height, your build, but he's not like as wide as you are. And so when he was on top of me, I got all this adrenaline and I pushed him off of me, and I got up and he's like, what's wrong, what's going on, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I didn't want to have sex with you. And I said, I don't want to have sex with you from the beginning. And I guess he just thought, well, I mean, she's here, she's saying one thing, but because I guess guys have like this little thing in their head, well, if she says no, but she's still here, blah, 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 stuff like that. So when I got up and we had a conversation, I was just like, I didn't want to have sex with you. Like, that's not what I want to do. And he's like, well, you make it seem like I just raped you or something. And I'm like, yeah, you did. And then he's like, no, please don't go. Like, he really liked me, and I just wasn't into that. And I can't fake like somebody, so I'm still kind of mean, but I was trying to be nice or whatever. And so I just left, and then he just kept calling me and like, what's wrong? Can we talk about this? And stuff like that. And then I just seen him literally like maybe a month ago at the gas station on campus, and he's like, Kaya, and I'm like, I just kept walking.
Did you ever talk to anyone about the incident?
I did. So that after that night when I went home, it was maybe like 2 or 3 in the morning or something, I can't really remember. And
what time did you go over to his place?
It was after dance class, so it was probably like 11.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was finals time, so he was like, yeah, you can just come over here and study with me and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay.
Do you think a lot of females fall prey to that same type situation?
I do. I was talking to my friend, and he was an RA for the school, and he in the freshman dorms, and he was saying that a lot of his residents would come to his door and say, I just been raped. What should I do? Where should I go? And I'm like, wow, I didn't know it was like that on my campus. But I mean, this is here. This is a big deal. But we have the Georgia State Counseling and Testing Center. So I woke up the next day and I told my roommates about it. And they were like, oh my gosh, and blah, blah, blah. And so we talked about it. And I just felt so empty inside. Like, I was just, I don't have the word to describe it. I just couldn't. And I had my boyfriend at the time. Well, he wasn't my boyfriend at the time, but I told him about it, and he got so mad at me, like cussing me out and yelling at me and stuff. And I'm like, "Are you serious right now? This is how you're gonna come at me?" So we got into this big argument, and so I'm like, "Okay." So I'm dealing with this, and I'm dealing with this crazy person talking to me. So it's just like, okay, what am I supposed to do? So I'm sitting in the dining hall, and I'm just staring into space. And I was talking to one of my friends, and she was one of my teammates, and she was telling me how it happened to her, but when it happened to her, it was like she was younger. So she was just trying to, walk me through a couple of steps and to tell me, well, this is going to be okay. It's not your fault and stuff like that. And so I was like, well, I'm not about to sit up here and feel sorry for myself because I don't want to be a victim at all. And so I got up and I went to the counseling center, and I had counseling, a couple of sessions, and we talked about it, and I feel better now. Honestly, I wasn't in counseling for that long. I only did maybe 3 sessions at the most, but I just don't want to be a victim, so I just got over it.
Yeah. We're gonna go to break. We come back. As I said, a lot of this centers around the outcome of the Vanderbilt football player's case. Know that I think we all have questions. Yeah. We all have comments. Thank you for being open. We're going to go to break. We'll come back. 888-926-7562 and more of the Sports Joc Show right after this.
It's me, your heart. High blood pressure is serious, and if you think I'm just going to keep ticking away, you're wrong. I can quit whenever I want, but I like my job. Just treat me better. Maybe we can do some exercise on occasion? After all, we're in this together.
Don't let your heart quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
We're going to play fast. We're going to take what we can get, gentlemen.
The NFL Hour here on the Sports Joc Show is sponsored by Life Marketing Group, the official marketing company of the Sports Joc Show. We create and manage top-performing social media campaigns for businesses. Life Marketing, driving success, guaranteeing positive results and return on investment.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese.
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed,
680-90-10-4.
could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Visit Nally Ford Sandy Springs on Roswell Road and tell them you heard this ad on the Sports Joc Show for the best deals on the all-new 2015 Fords. Like the 15 Ford Expedition Platinum, Focus Titanium, and save even more on the 2014 Edge SE. Nally Ford Sandy Springs, 7555 Roswell Road. Or visit NallyFord.com. Be sure to tell them you heard about it on the Sports Joc Show. That's NallyFord.com.
Remember when your neighbor found us naked in the car, and the time some outdoor action got us kicked out of the park? Getting frisky in the dark, I gave your eye a poke. I think the dog is also in the bed. Do I smell smoke, you and me? We never give up, you and me. We never, ever, ever give up. Getting hot and heavy with the whipped cream that we bought. Undressing in the kitchen and then getting caught. So many things can go wrong, but we still can get it right. You and me, we're not gonna give up tonight.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Visit bedsider.org to compare all the choices and put the bogus myths to bed at bedsider.org.
Boy, we got options tonight.
Brought to you by Bedsider and the Ad Council. Bedsider.org.
And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you, but when we are apart, I feel it too. And no matter what I do, I feel the pain, with or without you.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. It is the 10 o'clock hour. We have been talking Super Bowl 49. And unless you actually slept in a cave under a rock, under a blanket, in a hole in the Middle East, you probably know the Patriots won the Super Bowl. She's looking like, wow, you have to do all that not to hear about it. I think they aired a Super Bowl in like over 100-some million people watched the Super Bowl.
Oh, no,
That's
no,
a
I
lot of
watched
people.
it in Italy. I watched it.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We had the next day off, unlike America.
Y'all don't work a lot over there. That's why y'all lost World War II. But we won't talk about that. But as we went to break, we were talking to one of our assistants, Georgia State University, Miss Kaya. She was telling us about her incident dealing with sexual assault, and we got on this, as I said, when we first brought her on, the Vanderbilt case. Brandon Vandenberg, Corey Beatty, facing 20 years incarceration. They were found guilty of sexual assault. Erica Kinsman, the young lady that claimed that Jameis Winston, the quarterback at Florida State, had sexually assaulted her. She's in a new documentary that's coming out this spring called The Hunting Ground, that focuses on alleged victims of sexual abuse. We kind of labeled this the new rape, meaning that it's not a lot of violence to it. It's a lot of different methods, from drugging to intoxication to persuasion, but it's not that old school. And I think that's why, because for me, you say rape, I'm thinking death threats, tying you up. Now the girls, or it's almost a date with the wrong outcome, in a sense, an outcome that the young lady doesn't want. It's hard to prove because, just like as Kaya was saying, she did know the guy. She did kind of put herself in the situation. And these are some of the issues that these women are running into when they do even go to the police, is that they don't have enough. It gets down to a true she said, he said, right? Because there's no real evidence for the police to go and grab and say, well, here's a bruise on her neck, or here's a Darren Sharper pill in her drink. Right. It's just a lot of lacking evidence. And I've watched on 60 Minutes Sports that comes on Showtimes, a lot of cases the women can't win because the prosecutor is saying, I don't have any evidence. All I hear is you saying at some point you said no. But other than that, I don't really have any way to swing the pendulum to prosecute the person. Big Kenny, I will start with you. We were talking about the new rape. Kaya is here. She's saying that she put herself, in a sense, in the situation. I know Kaya, I've always said to women, leave them at the curve. Yeah. Don't even go upstairs. If it's an America now that, to me, especially young ladies dealing with men, if you're not gonna go there, because that's the only place the person is trying to go. There's no more of that happy days, let's get in the back of the car and make out for an hour and then I'll drop you back at home. It seems to be that the young man is expecting sex.
Right.
There is no the rubbing, tugging. Me and Big Kenny are old enough, where you gave hickeys. Now, with our skin color, you can never give us one, but, we were doing that. We felt like we were living that life. If you could,
I used to get them. Oh, you could see them on me.
But it was that time where that was like real.
You wild out with a hickey. Like you made it really exciting.
Yeah. Where it used to be a first, second, third base. Now it's I'm up the bat and it's going to be a home run or something. I'm going to make something happen. So I'll let you.
First of all, Kai, let me say, as the father of a daughter, as the son of a wonderful mother, the nephew of fantastic aunts, a grandson, my heart goes out to you. I don't think any woman should be subjected to that type of what I consider terrorism, especially at the hands of somebody that they, for lack of better terminology, trusted and knew. My question is concerning the reluctance to prosecute. The Sports Joc just spoke about the atmosphere and how all of the things that you are taught, all of the information that you had before, you yourself, in your own words, say, I was hard-headed and didn't listen to my parents. Did you take ownership of what happened to you more so than put the blame on the assailant? Because in my mind, I found myself as an adorable guy. Women love me, so I found myself a lot of times alone with ladies. But if they say no, no matter how far we've gone, I was taught no means no. So we could be standing in the shower together, and if she says no, then that to me is no. If I go any further than that, that's a violation. Knowing that you could have pressed charges, you decided not to. Was it because you felt somehow you put yourself in this and there's no way anybody's going to give you justice for being quote unquote hard-headed and going your own way?
Okay. Part of that came after the fact.
Right.
I didn't press charges because I didn't want anybody to know. Okay. I didn't want to go through any of that. Like, I just wanted to deal with it and then move on. I didn't want to be bottled down with going to court or having to talk about it over and over again or having to explain to 20,000 people what happened, why this happened. Well, why didn't you do this and why didn't you do that? Like, I didn't want to go through any of that. I just wanted to deal with it and move on.
And my follow-up question is, lately in the media, we've been hearing a lot about Bill Cosby and his alleged sexual assaults. And there was the most recent accuser said that he assaulted her when she was 18 years old at the Playboy Mansion, and it was proven through documentation that Cosby wasn't even in LA at that time. Does it make it more difficult for the actual victims of assaults to get justice because we have females out there that are willing to use that to get publicity, to get revenge, that kind of thing?
I think so. It's like when you are with someone who has that kind of power or money or something, everyone's always trying to see what they can get. Well, not everyone, but I know some grimy girls who would do something like, well, I don't know them personally because I'm not friends with people like that, but I just know, I know people are out there like that. I know people are looking to get ahead, and I'm not one of those people. That's not like something that I would ever do. I didn't press charges because I just didn't want to deal with it.
But do you think it makes it harder to get justice for others who decide to press charges?
I think so, because it's like you have so many people crying wolf, but there's no evidence. Because
there used to be a time, Sports Joc, if a woman said she was assaulted, you were being arrested.
Yeah.
Yes.
No one questioned.
Yeah.
Now, it may come out after trial or something that you were innocent, but we've seen cases where athletes have served time in prison because people automatically assumed that the woman was telling the truth. And now it seems almost opposite, where the first thing they start to do is put the victim on trial with what were you doing, where were you? And you talked about some of your actions. I thought something that's really made an impact on me is women who lead guys on hoping to get some sort of benefit from them.
Yeah.
To some females, that seems like some sort of game that they play, and they laugh about it. But then when it gets to this, what would you say to the women who play that game?
Don't do it. I only played that game once and it didn't it didn't pan out. Like, I don't even know why I did it, because it's like, well, I know why I did it, because it's kind of funny actually. Well, in college, freshman year, your refund check is not all that great. You don't have a job, and your parents are not giving you no money and stuff like that. And so I really wanted to get my hair done, do other stuff. And so he was like, well, here, I give you this. And I was like, oh, okay, great, thanks, I appreciate it. And then he's like, well, can you be my girlfriend and blah blah blah. And I'm like, no.
But you were still
talking to him,
liking the stuff that he did for, and
Yeah.
a lot of college age young women don't understand that there are older guys out of college who target college women specifically because of that.
And
they need money. I got money. And
and we reported on this show last year that Georgia State is one of the #1 sugar daddy
It is.
online schools. They found more,
nicknamed Georgia State.
Yeah.
Because
not Georgia State. Oh my gosh.
that's what a Georgia State student said. It was nicknamed Georgia State because they were very prevalent at getting on dating websites where older men were looking for younger women, and they would support their lifestyle.
This is true.
Yeah.
My friend did that. I was like, really? And then she went off to out of town with him and stuff like that. And I was like, really? You ain't scared? I said, okay, girl, you do you.
And I always tell women, I don't care what age you are, if you're not interested, don't take the drink. Make it clear from the beginning, and understand that a lot of you have just lucked out and something didn't happen to you, because when you do take monetary gifts from men, there are a lot of men that see that as the contract.
A purchase, yes.
They see it as the contract. You're looking at it as, no, he's being nice, and it's like, no, that is the contract, because you could have said no, but when you kept saying yes, and that's why I said some of you out there are just lucky that some of these times when it came to it, he might have backed down, but that's where men build that anger or that possession type, because that's the payback that they figured they were going to get back at some point. Sit there. I know Selfie is chomping at the bit to get in. Can you sit in for one more session?
Yeah, sure. It's fine. I'll stay.
Okay, we're going to go to break. We come back. 888-926-7562. The new rate, where you basically, it's somebody you know. It's not a stranger anymore.
More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
We're going to play fast. We're going to take what we can get, gentlemen.
The NFL Hour here on the Sports Joc Show is sponsored by Life Marketing Group, the official marketing company of the Sports Joc Show. We create and manage top-performing social media campaigns for businesses. Life Marketing, driving success, guaranteeing positive results and return on investment.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Visit Nally Ford Sandy Springs on Roswell Road and tell them you heard this ad on the Sports Joc Show for the best deals on the all-new 2015 Fords. Like the 15 Ford Expedition Platinum, Focus Titanium, and save even more on the 2014 Edge SE. Nally Ford Sandy Springs, 7555 Roswell Road. Or visit nallyford.com. Be sure to tell them you heard about it on the Sports Joc Show. That's nallyford.com.
Welcome back to the Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, and, of course, companionship. Now, let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive. And now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance so common with this group.
But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
This segment of the show is brought to you by Dentistry of Norcross. Ever wonder how the Sports Joc keeps that $1 million smile? It's the Dentistry of Norcross. 770-448-4118.
Enough is enough! I have had it! Why so serious? And we hold the world ransom for Wayne Gandy. Excuse me while I whip this out. Show me.
Broadcasting live from the Armada FM studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. It is 11 o'clock. We still have those same rules. We get a little more rowdy at the 11 o'clock hour. We've talked about the Super Bowl already in this show. Super Bowl 49 is in the books. The Patriots beating the Legion of Boom, Seattle. Russell Wilson throwing an interception to Malcolm Butler. Undrafted rookie making a huge play. We've talked about the commercials, the halftime show, and for the last couple of segments, we have been talking about something that has been in and out of the news heavy, especially on college campuses. There's numerous accounts of sexual assault. As we were talking, Bill Cosby and the allegations, we have Darren Sharper, who's in 3 states, date rape. He has been incarcerated 2 years. And some of you have forgotten it's been almost 2 years since he's been arrested. It seems like it was just the other day, but it's been a while. I think his trial starts next week. Breaking news, Johnny Manziel has entered a treatment center. Says he wants to improve, to be a better family member, friend, teammate. Here on the Sports Joc Show, Sports Joc said it. He'll say it again. That's why they say stay in college. Johnny Manziel, I wouldn't be surprised if Jameis Winston. There's growing up, not just for athletes. I think all of us grow up in that 3rd year. I think those first 2 years we party. We don't see the end coming around that junior year, especially when you have to start taking those major classes. There's no more liberal arts classes. You have to get into your major. We all kind of start realizing, wow, in about 36 months, I'm going to need to fill out a job application. And we all grow up in there. This would have been Johnny Manziel's junior season at Texas A&M this year. He would still have another year. Some of this could have been handled still right there, being able to be a kid and mature. And the world of pro sports has its own demons. And if you're not prepared for it, sometimes you will find yourself trying to find a place where I can actually learn how to be a better person. I was taught that a college is where you learn how to be an adult. And right now, Johnny Manziel, as me, Big Kenny, was just discussing during the break, just looking for a place to grow up. And he looks like a person who really wants to be a great football player. So this is good for him and the team, but mainly for him to have a moment of break from the party, the commercials, the whole Johnny Manziel experience. But as we went to break, we had our intern, our associate, Kaya, on the show. She was giving an account of her sexual assault, where she basically, even as she put it, was involved in a situation where she didn't even particularly like the guy like that. But for different circumstances, she found herself in a situation where he could take advantage of her in a way that she did not want. We have read off different cases that have been in the news recently of the same kind of behavior. As I said, I was watching 60-Minute Sports on Showtime. They were talking about the young lady said she went with her friend to her friend's boyfriend. I think it was North Dakota State. Don't hold me to that. They went to one of the players' party. It was just those two and 4 other ball players. She ended up getting drunk. They were taking shots. Everybody's drunk. In the Vanderbilt case, they're claiming the same thing. The whole culture of college now is sex and drinking. I can't say that it wasn't sex and drinking when I was in college, but I think the people that are having the sex and drinking might be a little less mature, mainly because my era was asked to be a little more adult than this new era. I have a daughter, and even when I'm asking her what she wants to eat, I laugh sometimes because I remember Mama just used to cook and tell you the food in the kitchen. You didn't even, there was no